Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. It's back on all Thursday viewers right here on Real Talk with Saieed. And you know, on a Thursday night, we just have it firing, like it was Fire Friday. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, tonight you are going to hear some of the things that Mbert had to say in a press conference. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. You are going to be surprised, you know. Even the PNM people tonight will be surprised. And you'll be asking yourself, was that the minister we supported? Trust me, you're going to be surprised. But I want all of you to remember this. While you all were begging for negotiation and begging for 4% and begging for better road and begging for US currency and begging for cost of living to go down and begging for light bill and water rate not to increase, keep in mind, the Salary Review Commission saw it was fit to increase the salary of 900 individuals in high position in Trinidad and Tobago while you begging to stay afloat and your head ain't sink under the water for you to drown. Keep in mind, they were traveling. They were eating lavish. They had tax deductions. What were you getting? Tell me, what were you all getting? I hope you lost your work tomorrow. I hope things get better. I hope I can get a little US to travel. Yep. Whenever let's Trinidad and Tobago, call your friends, call your family, tell them Real Talk is on with Saieed. It's back on our Thursday tonight. Just a little update. Trinidad and Tobago Postal Corporation, that is TT Post, has announced a temporary suspension of all postal items containing merchandise or goods destined for the United States effectively August 29th. All postal items regarding or regardless of value will now be subjected to custom duties. So Trinidad and Tobago, if you ship anything from Trinidad to the United States, custom duties will be applied. The suspension follows a U.S. executive order issued on July 30th, which eliminates the duty-free de minimis exemption for goods valued at US 800 or less. TT Post said it is working with its international partner to resolve the issue and restore parcel service as soon as possible. The agency stressed that all other service remains unaffected. So Trinidad and Tobago, let me just hope you had to ship anything 800 or less to the United States. But nevertheless, buy a ticket and go. Travel with wherever it is you have. It's simple. Another update for you viewers. The Department of State will update the category for applicants who may be eligible for a waiver of the non-immigrant visa interview effective September 2nd, 2025. This means that all non-immigrant visa application, including applicants under the age of 14 and over the age of 79, will generally require an in-person interview with a consular officer, except attendants, service or personal employees, or accredited officials applicant for diplomacy or official type visa, and applicants renewing a full B1 and B2 visa within 12 months of the prior visa expiration. Trinidad and Tobago. It's going to be a hectic road, but nevertheless, we're going to get through. Remember, how many times I told you all that we are not getting better, we were going down the line. Oh, side, you're bashing and you're bashing and you're bashing. No, today we seen what? Why and what I was bashing. Today you all have seen it. But nevertheless, we're moving forward in 2025. Whether you like it or not, 2026 is coming. Whether you like it or not, tomorrow will be Friday. And that's the reality. So, for the CPL fans, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is assuring the public that its security and traffic plans are in place to deal with an event for the Caribbean Premier League this year. Assistant Commissioner of Police Wayne Meister is assuring that all safety and security measures are in place for patrons expecting to attend the match. Meister.
We would have identified and prepared for a range of scenarios, including crimes against persons, public disturbances or riots, acts of terrorism or disruptive activities, medical emergencies and natural disasters, road traffic incidents, firearm-related incidents.
Added that the police service will have personnel inside and outside the stadium.
The TTPS will deploy specialized units within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, peace officers, traffic management teams from the Southern Division and from the Traffic and Highway Patrol branch, crowd management personnel, crime detection units, CCTV, and air surveillance.
The TTPS said there are limited parking spots for the public on the northern side of the stadium, with WPC Daniel Ambrose Mitchell advising motorists not to be lured into paying for parking. ACP Meister said the police service is also taking a protective approach and a proactive approach to traffic management, especially after the end of each game.
5 minutes before the game is over, that whole Turuba flyover, what we normally have is that we have local traffic intermingling with the persons coming from Brian Lara. So we are going to cut off local traffic on that ramp. So persons who are living in and around the area will be using alternative routes.
So viewers, the TTPS said certain items will not be allowed, including lighters, glass or plastic bottles, backpacks, professional cameras, food and drinks, coolers, drones, weapon, and even bandana or branded umbrellas. ACP Meister said, while alcohol will be sold at the venue, police will be conducting a road exercise to ensure motorists behind the wheels are not intoxicated. So Trinidad and Tobago, be very careful. It is an event. It is a CPL happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So go to enjoy yourself. Don't go to look for fight. Don't go to overdrink. Remember, you will have your family with you, the wife, maybe the grandmother, maybe the grandfather you decide to carry out. The kids will be with you. So please, there are other days in the months and the year that you could drink and get drunk and fall down. But for the cricket, it's more like a family event. So be careful with the drinking. Be very, very careful. And if you do have to drink and you feel that, you know what, I can't look at this game without taking some shots, I'm going to tell you something. Please walk with a driver. Please. Please, please, please. Because you don't want to end up being charged for murder the next day. Or motor vehicle manslaughter, you know. So try and put yourself in a gear to make things right for you, your friend, and your family, even Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So viewers, we are going into some current affairs news. So, former Minister of Finance Clongenbert is claiming that the government has diverted more than $1.3 billion in loan originally earmarked for key state agency to pay salaries and meet shortfall in expenditure. The former minister has also accused the government of financial mismanagement. Let me tell you something. I don't know if it's the shot that the PNM ministers got that they lost the election, or is it that at this age they are getting senile. The former minister has also accused the government of financial mismanagement. So you go tell me, Klongenbert, as the former minister of finance, for 9 long years, you were in power, the minister of finance. Okay, good? Nice. Billions of dollars gone missing. It ain't given account for in the public domain as yet. But let's stick a pen right there. Let's stick a pen right there. So I don't know if it's the shot that they get that they lost the general election, got to Imbert, or Imbert is at that age where he's starting to get senile. Now, the UNC. Devendranath Tanku is the Minister of Finance for 3 months. For 3 months. No project has launched in Trinidad yet. No allocation has taken place as yet. But, Klongenbert blamed the Minister of Finance and the government, which is the UNC, for mismanagement already. So I'm asking Imbert, is it that the shot you get from the general election, is it that it affected you real bad, or is it you at that age where you're starting to get senile? But I could never believe, and the right-thinking citizen of Trinidad and Tobago could believe that you start to accuse the financial mismanagement already on the UNC government, and not a project ain't started. So, it's strange. It's strange. Is it that shot that you get your lost election? Or you're at the age where you're starting to get senile? One out of the two. Now, claiming that this government is broke. So, Klongenbert, who was the Minister of Finance for 9 years in Trinidad and Tobago? So, if you say this government is broke, which means there is no money in the treasury for the Minister of Finance to allocate, to disburse on contracts, or to start any type of development in Trinidad and Tobago. But what are you really saying to Trinidad and Tobago? I want you to be very clear. What it is are you really saying? For the last 9 years that you had no growth in Trinidad and Tobago while you were the Minister of Finance, and that this government that come in now is that you are telling them that they are broke because there's no money in the treasury? But explain yourself carefully. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to let you hear this.
Money. They have no money. The government is broke. And I'm going to read now from a cabinet minute, which is dated 7th of August 2025. And this cabinet minute was not given to me by somebody in the Ministry of Finance. It came from somewhere else. The heading is Approval for the Transfer of Funds Held in Escrow for 16 government guaranteeing loans to the Treasury to assist government with funding for the remainder of the fiscal year 2025.
Now, viewers, he said, this note seeks approval for the transfer of 16 loans valued at approximately 1.3 billion to the Finance Ministry. Listen to this.
Take all those loans. All of those loans had a purpose. $1.3 billion in total. They take all and they put it in Tanku bank account. That's what this loan is all about. Listen to this. And nobody wants to lend them money.
So nobody wants to lend who money? So I am asking him, but now, Who told you that $1.3 billion went to Tanku's account? Play back that video there from a director.
Take all those loans. All of those loans had a purpose. $1.3 billion in total. They take all and they put it in Tanku bank account. That's what this loan is all about. Listen to this. And nobody wants to lend them money.
So Embert is saying that take all the money and put it in Tanku's bank account. That is what Embert said, you know. Saieed didn't say that, Embert said that. And now, 3 months into the UNC running Trinidad and Tobago, they say nobody wants to lend them money. Who is the nobody? So this is what I'm trying to get from Embert now for you all to understand. Reading from a note, Embert said, based on current liquidity levels, the government's ability to access funds on the domestic market has been constrained. Why is this? Listen to this.
Based on current liquidity levels, the government of Trinidad and Tobago's ability to easily or readily access funds on the domestic market has been severely constrained. That is technical language for the banks and want to lend them no money. And you really have to wonder whether the departure, the forced departure of the CEO of First Citizens Bank is because she didn't want to go over her limit. She didn't want to breach the central bank regulations. And they were demanding that she give them billions of dollars in money. And she couldn't do it. She'd have lost her job. You have to wonder if they told her to resign because she didn't want to break the central bank regulations. You have to wonder.
So is it, Cluggenberg, that the Treasury have no money after you being there for 9 years? What is the GDP growth in Trinidad and Tobago that a new government come into office now and people don't want to lend them money? According to you, according to you, Embert. So what have you been doing for 9 years? And why is it that nobody wants to lend the UNC money? What is the track record for the last 9 years? What is the growth, the GDP growth, Embert? That is what I'm asking you. So which means we have to be, let me tell you something, trying to be, we had to be in a hole so deep that nobody want to lend me money. Who was the previous Minister of Finance? Was it Devendranath Tanku or was it Embert? Who was it? So Embert was here for 9 years. Tanku come in. All of a sudden, nobody wants to lend Tanku money. Why? Embert is saying this, you know. So I am asking Embert, why is it that nobody wants to lend now this UNC government money? Why? Is it that there is no money in central bank to use as collateral? I'm asking Embert. So Embert is putting himself under the bus and the whole of the PNM administration. Because what Embert is saying is that Trinidad is broken. Trinidad is broken. Embert saying it, not me. But you know what I got to go home with? An increased package. What you got to go home with? What you all got to go home with? Somebody say something now. 2386716. What did Marvin say? You will carry out your family one time for the month. Was Marvin giving us a clue as to what Embert was doing or how broke Trinidad and Tobago is? Ask yourself, Black Trinidad and Tobago. So tonight now, Embert is saying nobody wants to lend UNC money. Why? Why? Is it that the GDP is under zero in Trinidad and Tobago? Is it that we have no money in central bank? Or no money in the Ministry of Finance to allocate money for 2026 fiscal year? I am asking Imbert on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, because Imbert made this statement, not Saieed. He asserted that the current financial minister will use those funds to cover the government's financial needs for the remainder of fiscal year, including paying public sector salaries for August and September. Listen to him, but
What this note is saying is that they can't borrow money. The banks don't want to give them any money. So they take the whole 1.3 billion, all the loans for school construction, housing construction, road paving, they take all the money and they put it into the government bank account. You know what for? To deal with a critical shortfall of money for the remaining 2 months of the year. Now let me break this down for you. If the banks don't want to lend them any money, what causes that? Is that the banks have no confidence in them? If you have all these financing arrangements for all these state enterprises that are critically needed, I told you WASA owes 900 million, almost $1 billion, to contractors for all the projects that WASA has done.
Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to ask Imbert, since Imbert is saying the banks don't want to lend them, what state did Imbert, the Minister of Finance, left Trinidad and Tobago in? What state for the bank to reject? What state? Keep in mind, Trinidad and Tobago, the SRC approved an increase for them 40%, while you all beg for 4%. I want to let you understand that. So is Trinidad and Tobago bankrupt? So when Imbert was saying the country is in a boom, but we was in a doom really? Ask yourself that. So I want Imbert now to come out and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and explain to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago the GDP growth in our country over the last 9 years. And why is it that the banks don't want to lend money to the new administration that came in 3 months ago? Can Imbert come out now and explain to Trinidad and Tobago why? Call a good night. Let's take a get the click. So Imbert, you have some explaining to do to the PNM people. You have some explaining to do to the UNC people. And by all means, you have some explaining to do to Trinidad and Tobago. How it is that the banks don't want to lend them. What kind of debt is Trinidad and Tobago in? Or let me say, how broke are we? How broke are we? Is it another lie? You know we have the song lie, 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 lie. Who's telling the truth now, Trinidad and Tobago? Who's telling the truth? So now, with all that you have just heard, I want to ask for Devendranath Tanku, who is the present Minister of Finance for Trinidad and Tobago for the next 5 years. I would like to hear a response from him concerning the $1.3 billion that Klungenberg said went to Tanku's bank account. So I wonder what is the next step now that the new finance minister, Devendranath Tanku, is going to take concerning Imbert's statement. Call a good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Now, you see why there ought to be an investigation into Imbert of corruption? Because hereby, you cannot account for $3 billion.
Correct.
Then you come in and you're telling people, you remember, he said that the economy is booming, right?
Talk to me, I'm listening.
Yes, he said the economy is booming and you can see clearly now and all this kind of nonsense. They want to tell people now that the banks don't want to lend this government money. You know why? Because you have borrowed and you have extended beyond the limit of borrowing, and because of the fact that this Prime Minister challenged the banks on the corruption and the mafia within the banking system, maybe they don't want to lend the government money.
Thank you, my friend. I understand what you're saying. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, Beckers, government's scraping for money. So I wonder what state did they left Trinidad and Tobago when Ember said we were booming in our country. What state are we in? More when we return.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, more Bacchanal as we go on with Bacchanal Thursday tonight. But before I go there, remember as I said, Real Talk Financing is offering from the 20th of August to the 30th of September 6% on a fixed deposit. The reason for this, viewers, is because we are going into the 63rd year of being an independent country. 63rd year, right? And we have decided, you know what? We're going to give the people something to look forward for in this 63rd year of being independent. So Real Talk Financing is giving you 6% on a fixed deposit with your interest up front. Remember, nobody else in Trinidad and Tobago is giving you offers like us. Nobody else. Keep in mind, I have 30 years experience in the financial industry. 30 long years, Trinidad and Tobago. I want to let you understand that. So when I bring something to you, the citizens of this country, let me tell you something. It's not to put you all on that strain, you know. It's for you all to loosen your belt and enjoy, breathe the benefits of your fixed deposit. Have you ever heard in the history of Trinidad and Tobago any financial institution given interest up front on a fixed deposit? Have you ever heard that? No, you have not heard that, because I have not heard that. I have not heard that. And we are making history in Trinidad and Tobago. Who is doing that? Real Talk Financing. How are they doing that? By offering you 6% on a fixed deposit with your interest up front. Let me tell you something, viewers. When I tell you we stable, you know. You know, a bone that take long to dry. And haven't? A bone that take long to dry, you know. They say wood that take long to cure. Well, you don't have to wait long to get your interest. And that is how solid we are in Trinidad and Tobago. We are the oldest financial institution in this country making history on fixed deposits. The only. Check her wrong and see. Check her wrong and see. I am telling you, check her wrong. So viewers, from the 28th of this month, August, to the 30th of September, we are giving you 6% on our fixed deposit. Grab it before you miss it. Remember, the more you invest, is the more interest you get to travel, pay down on a car, build your house, repair your house, put away for doctor, put away for dentist, put away for education, buy somebody a ticket. Trinidad and Tobago is only us at Real Talk Financing will be doing these kinds of things. You know why? Because we are creating something new in our country. No more of the long 5 years, 10 years, 20 years waiting to collect our interest. Be time that you're dead. Be time that you're dead. But you can collect your interest and enjoy all the labor that you labored on the cash that you have saved. Only we are Real Talk Financing is doing that. Remember that, viewers. So as we go back to our news tonight, hear this now from the leader of the opposition. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles has claimed that a finance ministry circulation has requested that all the state agency and statutory bodies tell the minister or the ministry in details of all cash and cash equivalent they hold as of July 31st. But Penny, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. This is called accountability. This is what you call accountability. Because the Ministry of Finance wants to know, hey, how much money does WASA have to spend? How much money does Tiantec have to spend? How much money does Ministry of Works have to spend? How much money does Ministry of Education have to spend? Penny, this is what you call accountability. Shame on you. You're supposed to know that. But instead, you want to twist the words. Oh, how sad of you. How sad of you. But nevertheless, the opposition leader said, person who once at Imbert was stingy and now wishing he was still the finance minister. Hold on with that clip. You now hear the finance minister saying the banks don't want to lend money to UNC, who now came into power 3 months back. What does that mean for Trinidad and Tobago? What does that mean? Remember Dr. Rowley used to always tell all the tighten all the belt and win off the government? Now will you understand why? I hope so. Run that video.
Not only that they send home people. You know how hard it is that they're paying you late? They're paying people late. Some of all you used to say, oh, Mr. Imbert, stingy. Some of them didn't like him. But right now, all you love him. All you wish he was the Minister of Finance. All you want back in boat. All you want back in my pop your hand. For the 10 years that Colin Ilbert was Minister of Finance, all you ever get your salary late?
So all those same people who say no, ask them if they was willing to pay an increased water rate and a light bill. All those people who are saying no, ask them if they were prepared to pay an increase in light bill and water rate. You know all of them go zip them out? All of them would zip them out. But nevertheless, I always say I'm not for any political party. Penny, it is called auditing. It is called auditing. Imagine Imbert proud to say that WASA owes almost 800 or 900 million. And he proud to say that. So ask Marvin Gonzalez why WASA ain't pay Tech. Ask Marvin Gonzalez why all the ministries ain't paid a bill. Ask Marvin that. Ask Marvin that. Imbert proud to say WASA owing. He ain't shame. Being the finance minister for 9 years, you are ashamed to say that? That's what I tell you earlier. Is either two things happen. It's either Imbert's shock of the shot that they lost the election, or he at an age now where he's starting to get senile. Imagine you're the Minister of Finance and you proudly telling people, hey, you know WASA owing still? How could you be proud of that when you are the Minister of Finance? You know what it shows? It shows shame and disgrace. That while you are the minister, your colleague who holds the portfolio for public utilities after 5 years was owing. How you call that? Bad management. That is how you call it. Bad management. And you're proud to go on a platform and say it. Hey, let me tell you something. So the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to understand something. After 9 years, could you get your road fixed in front of your property? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. After 9 years, where is Trinidad and Tobago today? Do we have money or not? Because Klangenberg saying we in a boom, and Dr. Rowley saying tighten your belt. So where are we? Where are we? I am here to bring the reality to you. Because when you get your salary and you go home, ask yourself how much going in car repairs. Ask yourself how much going in the grocery. Ask yourself how much going to buy clothes, to buy shoes, to buy stuff that you need. Ask yourself how much of your salary going into these things. And then Marvin will look to come and say, now carry out your family one time for the month, while he get a 40% increase to carry his family outside 30 days for the month. So Trinidad and Tobago, who really benefits? And this is why I am here, 8 years on the network, trying to teach you. Who benefits? Is it that the minister benefits, or is it you that the citizens benefit? So Penny now, who telling the public, all you ever get all a salary late? Ask Penny why it is that they're auditing CPEP, URP, and reforestation. Ask Penny that. And here what she will tell all you. So all those people who say no, ask Penny why they stop CPEP work. Why they stop URP work, and why they stop reforestation. I want all you to ask Penny that. And here where Penny go tell all you. So back to the main story. Does Trinidad and Tobago have money? Ask yourself that. You all remember when PNM came into power 2015. Dr. Rowley said we had money in the treasury to run Trinidad and Tobago for 3 days. All remember that? After that, they paid it for $3 million. All remember that? How much all I remember that? We have money to run Trinidad and Tobago in the treasury for 3 days, but we painted for $3 million. How much people's salary going behind the painting? That is a reality you should be asking yourself. Not saying side your bashing. I'm here to educate you. So the stupid ones, be a little educated. Pay a little attention to what is taking place in your country. When last you got a box rent fixed in front of your house? This is the point I try to bring to you. When last you buy upon a climb, and what is the price of it? Ask yourself that, because this is the reality I bring to you. This is the reality I bring to you. All I feel like fighting, if I go join PNM or if I go join US. No, I am fighting that. I am holding them accountable for being a minister and spending taxpayers' money. To this date, the $2.6 billion that went missing under the Ministry of Finance, it has not been accounted for as yet. Who money is that? Your tax-paying money. Your tax-paying money. You see when all work daily and all pay tax daily, that is all your money going there. Part of it is my money too. Company money, workers' salary being taxed, we have to pay tax to the government. All that is in it. So all the people who ball in, no. All are prepared to pay increase in light bill and water rate. Because trust me, it was coming to all you. Trust me, it was coming to all you. Penelope said, this is an indication that this government cannot run Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
The people there for 100 days, and after the first month, you're getting your salary late. Imagine poor pensioners. You're going in the bank, push your little card, no money. Yeah? Days, you're waiting for money. And here, even in their own corporation in Mayaro, no money. Eh? Recently in Tunapona, no money. I mean, what is really going on with this government? Because all we have is clear evidence that they can't do the job. They cannot run the country. And if you know you can't run the country, then let somebody else run the country. And put it back in the hands of the People's National Movement.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Penny said that they can't run the country after 100 days in office. So let me say something here. When Earl Haywood Christopher was appointed Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago, her first 100 days, we're talking about crime. What did she do? Good, nice, so let's think about that. When the PNM came into power in 2015, and Dr. Rowley said we have money to run Trinidad and Tobago for 3 days, why Penny didn't ask him? So Rowley, if we have money to run the country for 3 days, why is it you buy a patent for $3 million? And we could have paid the citizens that $3 million? But Dr. Rowley, we stopped gate funding. And that $3 million, we could have paid gate students. Dr. Rowley, we didn't have money to buy CDAP medicine to give to the old people who voted for us. And we could have taken that $3 million and see if we get some CDAP medicine and distribute it. Come, Penny, I want to hear you. I want to hear you. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. I am not here to put myself in a political party, UNC or paying them. No. I way bigger than that. What I am doing is using my resources. Not asking all to contribute to add to the show, I'm using my resources to educate you all about the pothole and about the box rate and about the cost of living and about the electricity bill and the way you should be living. Because why? You're paying tax to drive on the road more smooth. You're paying tax so the police could properly keep your community safe. You're paying tax that when you go in the hospital, you don't have to lie down and die waiting to see a doctor or for waiting for medicine. And I will continue doing it whether you like it or not. I ain't here to make enemies, But I have developed a lot of enemies because of my program. You know why? Not everybody wants to hear the truth. Not everybody wants to hear the truth. So when Penny asked them, all ever had all a salary late? All I should ask Penny, why they stop the CPAP program? Why they end up in court? Ask Penny that. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. And I want Penny also to understand that is the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago who didn't like how the PNM was governed in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 5 years. That is why they make a decision. That is why they make a decision. But nevertheless, the people want to ask Penny that, They want to ask Penny that. I will tell Penny that. That is the difference. Now, she claimed a recent finance ministry circulation has requested all state agencies and statutory bodies tell the ministry in detail of all cash and cash equivalent they hold as of July 31st. Penny, you call that responsibility. That is what you call it. Responsibility. Or do you want to be like Wassa? Owing $800 or $900 million. That's accountability? Oops. Penny, I guess you may be not educated to the level of being accountable. But when he's accountant, my profession, when he's accountant, you have to be responsible. You have to give updates. So when I check loan department, how much loan will I lend for January, February, and March? I would like an indication of how much you lend, how much your interest is, and how much did we grow by in the last 3 months. You know what they call that, Penny? Accountability. Hey, I enjoying tonight, and it's Bacchanal Thursday. I enjoying tonight, In Boots, you telling Trinidad and Tobago that no banks ever want to lend the UNC money. So I am asking you, why? I'm not asking the bank. I'm asking you, Clongenbert, why? Because Saieed wants to know the GDP growth for Trinidad and Tobago from 2015 to 2025. Because if our growth was good, and all the boom you're saying we boom, banks would not have hesitated to lend money. Common sense, Trinidad and Tobago. Common sense. My 14-year-old son could tell all of that. He could tell all of that. Father's a bright man, so the blood had to be bright. Nevertheless, saying this government is crap or scraping for money. So why is that, Penny? Why is it you were telling me 3 months and they had to scrape for money? So what the Ministry of Finance was doing for the last 9 years, that when government changed, according to you, we're scraping for money. So is it that all drain the treasury? Is it the Treasury had no growth for the last 9 years? Is it that we have nothing that the bank will hold as collateral, Penny? What are you really trying to tell the public? What you trying to tell the public? That is what I want the public to understand. That is what I want the public to understand. So if the UNC is scraping for money to pay bills, which means the past Minister of Finance left no money. Is that true, Penny? Is that true, Imbert? We talk about the Treasury, you know. We are talking about Saieed bank account, you know. We are talking about David Jonat, Tanku bank account, you know. We are talking about the Treasury. All you understand that, Trinidad and Tobago? We're talking about the Treasury because the Treasury paying the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So if Penny saying they're scraping for money and Imbert saying that they may have no money, ask yourself, viewers, for the last 6 months, 3 months you were in office, where did all the money go in the last 3 months then? Or the last 6 months? Ask Imbert. Ask Imbert to explain to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, how is there no money? You were there for 9 years. Where all the money gone? Where the tax money gone? Where the ticket money gone? Where the property tax money gone? Where the $2.6 billion gone? Watchman, I have a list, you know. I could call out a whole list, you know. The citizens that pay WASA, where all the money gone? All you come now, man. But we had money to give Venezuela $1 million US every year. All you say something now. All you say something now. Huh? Hear this now. Hear this now. All you feel inside, stupid, is your eyes are opening. Is your eyes are opening. The UNC presently is conducting an audit in all the ministries to find out who have money and how much they have. So we would know, so we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, would know where all the taxpayers' money gone. And that's what they're trying to get at right now. That is where they're trying to get at right now. So who feeling it? The poor man will feel it. You know why? You want to know why? Because there was no proper documentation for where money was spent. Remember when the Auditor General was saying, when she conducted her audit, documents were missing. We had no proper documentation for money that was spent. Imbert sent her to court. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago are here to open your eye. Where your tax money going? Where it going? Because the hospital ain't no better, the schools ain't no better, the road ain't no better, security ain't no better, border patrol ain't no better. So where it going? Where all of that tax money going? Ask yourself that. Some gone Venezuela. Some gone to increase ministers' salary. Where the rest gone? 2.6 billion missing. Where the rest gone? And I could go on and on and on and on till daylight tomorrow. We have about 5 minutes left on our show. You see,
they can't check.
Going sweet, how would this be? Now listen to this, eh? Run video number 3. Penny is saying that the government is scraping for money. Right? She said the notice issued by the Ministry of Finance on Tuesday looked like something was wrong. Penny, something must be wrong because if nobody had given an accounting, how WASA win? Because nobody accounted in WASA. Am I talking the truth, Penny? How it is that all the state agencies and the government agencies, they pay the light bill. Penny, what's wrong? Listen to this video.
They can't check. They show how much money they have. And anybody that have money, they want it. So they watch out, eh? Simply, they want to know how much money all of these agencies have. And you know what that means? They're scraping. Now, I am not the Minister of Finance, and I'm not an expert in finance. But something wrong. And all you pay attention, because it's very simple. When you put square pegs in round holes, you're going to have trouble. Now, every government might have a few square pegs, but like they have the whole government is square pegs.
That is why the USC government is scraping out the square of the peg. They're scraping out the square of the peg. Because a wrong peg going in a wrong hole, Penny. Input can give account for $2.6 billion. The government ministries can't even pay their own bills. Penny, you have a right to say, I am not a finance expert, but I am a finance expert and I'm telling you on national television. Your Minister of Finance, what did he do? I'm asking on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. For 9 years, how much percentage of growth did the Treasury have for Trinidad and Tobago? Come now, Penny. Why are you telling Bert to come and say the figures? Why you don't tell him Bert to come and tell Trinidad and Tobago how much will I grow the country in the GDP growth of our beloved country? But you want to jump up on a platform. Oh, they're scraping. They have a right to scrape. You know why? People need to get paid, so they want to know now all the allocation that took place in the 2024-25 budget. Where the money gone? Where the money that was allocated to pay workers to the ministries, where it went? Come on, Penny, say something now, man. Say something now, man. Inbert, come say something now, man. Where Agriculture Ministry, where all the money went? Ministry of National Security, where the money went? Local government, the money that they collected in property tax, where the money went? You see, if I go to talk, people go get vexed. But accountability is accountability. Penny, let me tell you something. You were embarrassing Inbert, and Inbert embarrassing PNM. And the people now seeing it. I want you to understand, Trinidad and Tobago, is the people that made a change in voting government, not the government. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago decide to make that change. Now Inbert is coming out and telling the truth now. They're scraping for money. So all the time the boom was a lie? I don't know, I'm asking a question. All the state agencies owing and Tech light bill. Imagine that. So where was all the allocation, all the boom, all the tax money, all the property tax money, where it went? Trinidad and Tobago today is Bacchanal Tuesday, but Friday coming will be Fire Friday, and we are going to continue. So until then, enjoy the night and be safe.